Hi all, you're very welcome to tonight's webinar. I think this is the sixth one so far. So tonight is a really specialist area, the goalkeepers. So delighted tonight to be joined by Scott Gaynor, who's the women's under 15 schools goalkeeping coach, and also the women's under 16 goalkeeping coach. Dave Rooney, who's the women's under 17 goalkeeping coach, and Pat Bean, who's the women's under 19 goalkeeping coach. So brilliant lineup tonight. Really looking forward to this. So over to you guys, and best of luck.
Thanks, James. Scott, you there?
Yeah, all good. How are you, Pat?
I'll go back.
Dave,
Yeah, I'll go back.
Okay. All right. Welcome to tonight's webinar, guys. We'll try to make it a little bit easier for everyone because we know some people are not goalkeeping coaches who will be attending tonight. So basically, we're trying to give you a little flavour of what we do. So if you can roll on to the next slide there, please. Or where's it gone? So let Scott introduce himself.
Yeah, so just obviously myself, with the as James said there, with the schools under 15 side, coming up on 4 years now, the last 3 seasons, and then obviously with the FI under 16s as well. But then in the National League was with Wexford Youths for 4 seasons from 2016 obviously till the end of last season, and then just the goalkeeper B licence then.
Okay, David Rooney, obviously working with the under 17s this year with James Scott as the head coach. Previously would have worked for 5 years with the schools with Lorraine Cunahan and Richie Berkeley, and then done a year with Sharon and Sean with the under 16s. Currently, for the time being anyway, head coach with Fleet United, which was the old Limerick FC. Have a UEFA A licence, outfield, and also B licence, and also coached the men's League of Ireland, Limerick and Galway United, and working in the Centre of Excellence in Limerick and the ETP Centre for the boys in Limerick.
Okay, Pat Bean, I'm currently coaching with the women's under 19s. I work full time for the FEI as development officer for Kildare since 2006. The UEFA A goalkeeping diploma. Been coaching goalkeepers since the last century. The last century was that. So been with the goalkeeping international team since 2004. So I've coached the 15s, 16s, and 17 boys, 16s, 17s, 19s, and the senior women for 2.5 years as a goalkeeping coach. So I have a little bit of experience there. So been with the 19s now for a few years under Dave Connell. So that's how I work in that. Next slide, please, James. So for tonight, we're going to talk a little bit about goalkeeping communication. So a few slides. The role of the goalkeeper, international goalkeeper's profile, and a little Q&A. Now, we had some questions sent in, so we're going to answer them as we go along as well. All right. So for non-goalkeeping coaches, a lot of people say to us, how can you affect the goalkeeper if you're not a goalkeeping coach? Well, we're going to talk about communication because I think everyone can affect a goalkeeper from training into matches by giving them a few phases. Why are they doing this? Do they understand the game? Because if you look at a goalkeeper, they're the coach on the pitch. They can see everything 180. They can see everything in front of them. So that's what we're looking at. So it's hugely important the goalkeeper effectively communicates with her teammates. A goalkeeper who can impart instructions to her team and can impart the game with her organisation skills is invaluable. And again, this can be expressed both verbally and visibly. This is a gradual process depending on the goalkeeper's stage of development, but should be practiced at every opportunity in training matches. So again, going to different grounds, different games, we're seeing young goalkeepers, they don't talk. And it's something that can easily be remedied. If we can get our goalkeepers talking, it can help with the game management. It can help prevent goal scoring opportunities, and it can also help the goalkeeper's physical workload. Because if the ball's down the other pitch or they're getting the defenders back in, there's going to be less shots and goal. So that's what we're looking for from our goalkeepers. So within the goalkeeper communication dictionary, there's three different roles in it. It's a communicator, informer, and instructor. So a communicator, can they deliver the message? the informer, can they share of details, and then the instructor, creator of actions. So that's what we're looking for from our goalkeepers. So with communication, it has to be early, allowing teammates to respond. It's got to be clear, so calm with the correct tone. And again, I don't know if the lads might say this, but in the female game, sometimes when the girls raise their voice, it can sound a little bit panicky. So, you know, just calm, correct tone, keep everyone, because if they're panicky, the defence might panic. It's got to be concise. It's got to be short and punchy. 2 words a do, 1 word a do, rather than the whole sentence. It's got to be consistent. It's got to be regular without being overwhelming, and authoritative. Show confidence and presence. And again, this can help a goalkeeper and all this. The information there. So this is really important now. Sharing of the correct detail. So it's relevant to the situation on a continual basis as play develops. So if the ball's down the other end of the pitch, doesn't mean the goalkeeper's there, standing on the post, you know, look at her nails. She's got to be involved in the play the whole time. So, for instance, keepers, goalkeeper telling teammates she's collecting or dealing with the ball. Time. No immediate threat from the opposition. And then drop as a unit or as a player in relation to the ball. So 3 really important things there. Can we affect our goalkeepers by getting them to do this? Next, yeah. Then the instruction part of it. The performance of immediate action by a teammate created by the goalkeeper. So again, away, clear the ball away from goal. Press, close down and put pressure on the opposition with the ball, and step up as a unit in relation to the ball to lessen space. Just on that, sorry, can you just go back on that, James? Just on that, it's 6 words we're asking you to there. If you don't get anything from tonight but those 6 words, that will make a huge difference to your goalkeeper. So I think that's really, really important. If the goalkeeper can communicate with the defence and with the rest of the team, because sometimes we get goalkeepers, again, you know, sometimes they might be very confident, sometimes they're shy, sometimes they don't know what to say, they're afraid of saying the wrong thing. So we've got to help them with that as coaches, and not just goalkeeper coaches, but outfield coaches. We've all got to help.
Yeah, I think that's just touching on what Pat said there as well. I think it's important that it's getting that balance as he talks about. It's making sure that they're confident, and obviously where I come in and see them at the first kind of step on the ladder with the 15 side of things. You're obviously dealing with a younger goalkeeper. You're dealing with, again, girls who may be timid and shy, but it's giving them firstly the confidence to speak, and then, as Pat says, giving them the correct detail and the correct information that they have that to obviously impart to the players. So we'll just touch on now in the next couple of slides. We'll look at a kind of an international goalkeeping profile. So what is the role of the goalkeeper? And then in turn, what are we as coaches, what are we looking for in terms of an international keeper? So again, I touched on that with the 15s, looking at identifying goalkeepers. And I know Richie Berkeley, the 15s manager, is on next week, and he's going to cover this in an awful lot more detail. But just to give you an idea about where we're looking for keepers in particular, and obviously players within that squad. So you have your clubs, but for us, for the sake of the schools, you have your Gaynor Cup squads. You're into your ETPs. Splits off, then you have your schools, obviously the schools teams, and then into your provincial sides, which deliver then into your national ETP days, and then hopefully obviously into the international team. In terms of numbers, again, you're looking at outfield numbers here in your thousands, obviously with clubs and schools. Down to Gaynor Cup, you're looking at about 400. The different ETP centres, roughly about 150 across the centres. The Interpros, ideally, you have the best 68 players across Leinster, Munster, Connacht and Ulster. Again, they'll deliver into a national ETP training day, roughly about 32 players, and then down to 18 in terms of a full international squad. But for us, I suppose, as goalkeeper coaches, kind of the more accurate numbers in terms of what we're looking at. So obviously, again, your clubs and schools, you're looking at a pool of hundreds of goalkeepers. Usually, again, you have your 64 goalkeepers down at the Gaynor Cup. Every squad has your 2, at least 16. We said at the different ETP centres. Some would obviously range from 2 to having 4 and possibly even 5 and upwards in the different centres. Again, the 4 provinces, you'll have your 2 in each, and then between 3 or 4, ideally at your national ETP players and goalkeepers in particular that are identified to go onto that step. And then we have obviously the tough call of making that to 2 keepers. So it just shows you, I suppose, the big pool that we have at the start, and then to make those calls and obviously those decisions to have your 2 and possibly 1 on standby. And then again, on a broad basis, before we look at it in terms of the functions, what is the general role of the goalkeeper? So you're looking obviously as a support, and to support and communicate, not exclusively, but especially with defensive players. Again, as you go up the levels and as we're trying to do more with them, you're seeking to have an influence higher up the pitch as well. With and without the ball, can we get into a positive starting position in relation to it? So whether that's when we have the ball and we're looking to build up and looking to attack, or whether that's a transition to defence and in the defensive phase obviously as well. Making those decisions, so we're able to assess when and which handling techniques are appropriate for a given situation. And we'll touch on that later on. We'll give you some examples about how we will bring that into sessions, working on opposed and unopposed, and working from an isolated technical goalkeeper practice, and how we can bring that into working as part of obviously as a coaching staff, but obviously then as a team, putting the goalkeeper in as many match-like scenarios as we can. And obviously that's where they're going to do most of their learning. And again, Pat says about the communication. If we can take that from tonight as well, that I think and I hope certainly at this level that the day of the goalkeeper and the goalkeeper coach going into the corner for 20 minutes and then call when they need it is hopefully over. Dealing with wide areas, so getting into a positive starting position to ensure that cross balls are collected effectively. Again, looking through the techniques and the decisions in relation to that, and then the transition, hopefully, when we do deal with that. And then understanding safety and risk both in and out of possession, knowing when to support, retain and progress possession. So again, you have obviously the technical aspects, but you're looking at, okay, well, when we have the ball, making that best decision. Yes, we need to see, are they capable of executing that? But obviously they need to make that decision and identify what the best option is first.
Okay, so you have a picture there of Leah Cohen-Hayes would have been our under-17 goalkeeper this year. So we're going to look at what we look at as goalkeeper coaches. So obviously the football actions and the football language around football that we use within the game. So that relates to goalkeepers as well. So you have the football actions there. So the 3 main football actions are communication, the decision, and then the execution of that decision. So we'll have a look at how that relates to a goalkeeper as well as the outfield players. Okay, so you see, we've all seen this slide with all of the outfield presentations. So you can see the four main actions there. So we're scoring, and then we go into a transition. So we're into transition. We're transition to defend. We lose the ball, so then we have to disturb the build-up. We're into a defending phase then, and then we're looking to prevent scoring, and then we transition back into attack. So that all relates to a goalkeeper as well. So how does this relate to a goalkeeper? So with the field players or the outfield players, we're looking for better actions, and we're looking for more actions, quicker actions between the actions. Football fitness comes into it there, so we're looking to maintain many actions between the game, and then we're looking to maintain good actions throughout the game. So how does this all of this football language and all of these football actions, how do they relate back to our goalkeepers, and what are we looking for in our goalkeepers? Well, here you see the football structure again. So it's again the scoring, the transition, but how does it relate to goalkeeper? So obviously the main part of the goalkeeping is the defending part, the disturbing the build-up and preventing goals. Now that's just not just about shot stopping. That's just not. Obviously, the main thing is to keep the ball out of the back of the net, but there's also a huge part of it there disturbing the build-up. So the goalkeeper has to be really effective when the opposition are attacking. Can they disturb the build-up without and try and prevent a shot on goal? Never mind prevent the goal, and make a save. So can they disturb the build-up? So that's done through communication, and that's done through working their back four. So the goalkeeper, as I say, is like the conductor of the orchestra. He's the one that's pulling and dragging his back four around. So the ball is on one side of the pitch. He might be tucking in his full back on the opposite side, and might be obviously controlling the defensive line as well when they drop in and when they step out.